Alright, so Trump just announced that the US is now reinstating the blockade of Hormuz, and that we would henceforth be known as the guardians of the Hormuz Strait. Can't make this stuff up. He said in his little tweet that the US would be securing transit for all other countries in the strait, I assume by escorting ships. And in exchange, we'd be charging a fee of 20% of the cargo value. So many things here, so let's just start with that. 20% is wild. Iran's toll was about $1 million per ship, so that comes out to about 1 to 2%. So the US is going to be charging 10 to 20x what Iran was charging, and for a riskier transit. It's going to be an active battle. This proposal makes Iran's control of the strait look like a good thing. So, I don't know who's going to take him up on this offer, but if anyone does, I gotta say, it honestly wouldn't even be about the oil at that point. It would literally be just to instigate a fight with Iran. And of course, that leads to the other thing, which is what I was saying earlier this morning. The Monday manipulation peace deals are over. Trump is now fully instigating on a Monday with the markets open. You could say he's playing the other side, but really the whole point of this manipulation was to keep oil price suppressed for the optics. So now that he's dropping that whole sham, it's pretty clear that this thing is on for real. So we'll see how this goes, and if anyone takes the bait, probably the Gulf states. And of course, we'll see how Iran responds to this. I assume by closing down Mandeb. And I still think it's way too early for the card raid. Oh, it's too hot for the card raid. So really, this just looks like the US thinking that this is gonna be an easy battle. What it looks like is the US is instigating to get it over with, even though it's just not how it's gonna work. And honestly, this just highlights why the situation just keeps getting worse. The US is fundamentally misunderstanding their enemy. Again, they still think that Iran is like Venezuela. They think it's like Iraq. And we just get proven time and time again that this is not how it's going to work. And that's why the economy is going to collapse. Because the US officials think that this is going to be quick and easy. Months ago, they thought this would be like a 1 week situation, right? Take out Khamenei Sr. and it's over. And now we're, 3 months in? And yet they still think this way. This thing's going to keep dragging, and it's going to destroy the economy. That's just what happens. Mandeb's going to close, more energy infrastructure is going to get destroyed, and Iran just survives longer than the US economy can handle. Or the global economy, really. What an absolute mess, and what a joke. Guardians of the Strait. He thinks he's in a superhero movie. This is insane.
The man who promised to end foreign wars just declared America the guardian of someone else's waterway, and his own voters are the first ones to call him out. Donald Trump just stood in front of the world and declared that the United States of America is now the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz, not a NATO ally, not a coalition. America alone. The same man who built his entire political career on America first and ending foreign entanglements just volunteered American military power to guard a waterway in the Middle East. And the people who are the angriest right now, his own voters. Comment where you're watching from, hit like and subscribe because this one is getting interesting fast.
Whoa, wait a minute. Let me make sure I have this right. The US is going to take over the Strait of Hormuz. And then the US is going to charge a 20% fee for cargo shipped through it because it used to be free. Then the United States attacked Iran, and Iran said, no, we're going to charge you now for going through the strait. And now the United States, who started all of this, has said, no, Iran doesn't get to charge you. We're going to charge you. Yeah, the ones that attacked Iran and started all this to begin with, we are now going to charge you for your vessels crossing through. Does this make sense to anyone? Are we in a polar world where up is down and down is up? He attacks Iran. He causes all the problems in the strait, and now he wants to charge other countries. Wow. I gotta admit, that takes balls. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and follow for more. Unbelievable.
Bad news for Trump and the economy, as both his tariffs and his war with Iran have made life more expensive for for everyday Americans. Trump's war drove up uncertainty in global energy markets, and Americans are still paying the price. A huge portion of the world's oil supply moves through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important shipping routes in the world. And even if the U.S. doesn't directly rely on Iranian oil, oil is priced on a global market. When conflict threatens global energy supplies, prices rise. Companies pass those costs on to consumers, and higher transportation and energy costs ripple through the economy. Now, add Trump's tariffs on top of that. You and I never got refunds for the higher prices we've already paid on goods because of those tariffs. We never got the tariff rebate checks we were promised. We never got the Doge checks we were promised. MAGA wants you to forget about all of that. In fact, Senate Republicans want you to believe everything is fine. They want you to think the higher prices you're paying aren't real, or that they're just a temporary anomaly. They're not. We're all feeling it every single day when we fill up our gas tanks, buy groceries, or pay our bills. So I want you to tag Senate Republicans and tell them to stop raising our costs. Has life become more affordable under Trump, or quite the opposite? I think we all know the answer.
The Strait of Hormuz is blocked again, so Iran is bombing ships going through the strait. Why? Because Donald Trump's an idiot. He came out and said, "Oh, we've got a deal," and the Iranians said, "Oh, great, we have a deal. We're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz, and Trump is going to, U.S. is going to stop blockading our ports." And Trump's like, "No, I'm so smart. I got them to open up the Strait of Hormuz, but I'm going to continue the blockade. I got everything. They got nothing." Now, when you say that, especially when they have the leverage, what do you think is going to happen? It's super obvious what's going to happen. What happened today, which is they're like, "Oh, you're still blockading us? So you thought you were smart by just lying to us? No, we're going to reclose the Strait of Hormuz." And they did. They hit several different ships. And now oil is back to skyrocketing. And probably on Monday, the markets will go back to crashing. Because I can't believe that anyone believes anything Donald Trump says. Of course he's lying. All right, I'm going to do more on this at
Donald Trump announces that he will be joining Iran, and the U.S. will also charge tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, as you know, the strait has been the topic of discussion in the Iran war. This is something that was wide open before Trump started this stupid war, and he's been struggling to get back to those pre-war conditions ever since. Well, now he's decided, since he can't beat Iran, he's just going to join them, as he took to Truth Social to say this: "The USA will be from this point forward known as the guardians of the Hormuz Strait, but as such, and as a matter of fairness, will be reimbursed at a rate of 20% on all cargo shipped for any and all necessary costs to do the job of providing safety." Yeah, Donald Trump has completely lost his mind. He has decided, this war, I can't win it, so why don't I just join them? Why don't I just join Iran and rise costs? Hey, ships, you got your choice. You can go pay Iran's tolls, or you can pay our tolls. You only make a margin of 10%, so what? We want 20. This is absolutely ridiculous, and somebody needs to step in and stop this madness. Where is the admin with the 25th?
Uh-oh, guys, things are escalating. Oil's going up. Stocks are selling off after President Donald Trump said he wants to take over the Strait of Hormuz. Let's break this down. So President Trump said today on Monday the U.S. would reinstate the naval blockade against Iranian ships and ports and would actually charge a 20% fee on all cargo shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. And not only is President Trump planning on taking over the Strait of Hormuz, he's actually planned on getting paid for doing so. And I'm sure you guys know this past weekend there was a lot of back and forth, right? So this deal is really cooked. The MOU's out the window, and Trump said that the U.S. attacked Iran on Sunday night, which he claimed was retribution for Iran actually reneging on its commitments under the MOU. And on Kalshi now, we can see the odds of traffic going back to normal at the Strait of Hormuz. Well, they're falling off a cliff here, guys. We can see a lot of people, their faith on traffic going back to normal before these dates. Well, the faith is going down. And this is after apparently there was an 11-hour meeting with Iranian representatives. That's what President Trump is saying on Sunday, and that Iran had agreed to everything before later proposing changes, right? And the president did not specify what changes Iran had proposed, and Iranian representatives held talks in Oman on Saturday without U.S. diplomats present, right? So a lot's going on, man. A lot of back and forth. Stocks are selling off. Oil obviously is going up. The VIX is going up. Buckle up, guys. it's a time to buy stocks, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Follow along for more and check out the link in my bio here in the comments as well for my portfolio updates. I'll see you in there.
I can't believe that it took over 5 years of Donald Trump being president of the United States for MAGA to figure out that foreign policy is actually pretty complicated and you can't just be a bully and expect to win. Right now, Donald Trump is basically trying to start World War III, but it's not going to work. He's trying to beg NATO for help to open the Strait of Hormuz. Trump and Bibi decided to start a war without coordinating with any of our allies and letting them know what kind of chaos they were going to unleash on the entire world and the global economy. And now he's trying to play the game of, I broke it, so you need to buy it. And the same guy who's been threatening a NATO ally, Denmark, saying that he's going to take Greenland by force, using the military against our NATO ally. Now he's saying, if you don't join us in this war that I just randomly started, it's going to spell very bad things for NATO, because we've always been there. Meanwhile, NATO has been very focused on liberating Ukraine from Russia. The entire reason that NATO exists is to stop the Russian Empire from becoming a thing again. So Donald Trump is lifting sanctions on Iran's ally, Russia, so that they can sell their oil, which they can then in turn use that money to continue the war in Ukraine, this war of this expansion. The United States has been spending over $1 billion a day on making this war happen. Meanwhile, because of all of the other illegal incursions and illegal attacks that Donald Trump has been engaging in Latin America and around the world, the ops tempo has basically made a bunch of our Navy ships inoperable. It's been a decade that Trump's fans have been saying that Donald Trump is making us respected on the world stage again. And only now are they starting to realize that we can't go it alone. And that Trump befriending our adversaries, authoritarians around the world, that might be good for Trump and the Kushner families so that they can personally enrich themselves. It's not good for any of the rest of us. So because Trump and Hegseth have to learn things the dumbest and hardest way possible, the rest of us are going to be dealing with grocery prices and energy prices that continue to rise. Just last week, we had 2 domestic attacks that were inspired by the war that Donald Trump started overseas. And our allies overseas have realized they can't rely on us, so they're building alternative plans. They're planning for a world in which the United States can't be trusted, and not only are we not respected, we are becoming more and more irrelevant.
Now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming of the United States fighting tooth and nail to secure a waterway that was perfectly open before they declared war on Iran. Because presumably as a final send-off to Senator Lindsey Graham, Trump has decided to start striking Iran again and vice versa. I mean, to be fair, it's what he would have wanted. Trump's new desperate flailing, made-up-on-the-spot strategy for dealing with this socio-economic international catastrophe that is going to cook him come the midterms is to take over the Strait of Hormuz and then extort every other country for use of it. So basically take over the Strait of Hormuz so that he can do what he's currently accusing Iran of doing. Right. This is all while the United States is quietly, frantically trying to reach some kind of peace negotiation with Iran for a war that Trump started and a ceasefire that Trump ended. Tariffs have failed, this war has failed, and now US national debt is spiraling out of control. So maybe Trump's solution is to hold the global economy hostage. In hopes that the United States can charge every other country extortionate fees to use the Strait of Hormuz in a way that Trump might be able to present as a victory. Trump and the United States, over 3 and a bit months of both military action and peace negotiations, has miserably failed to secure control of the Strait of Hormuz. The idea that Trump is going to be able to secure and maintain a guaranteed American control and American authority over the Strait of Hormuz, which is firmly controlled by Iran, is laughable. Simply put, if he really wanted to do that, he would have done it already. He's not done it because he can't. It seems very certain that he will keep humping this brick wall until the midterms. Which time the only thing the United States will have to show for it is tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars wasted and thrown into a meat grinder so as to assert some non-existent sense of authority in a region that the United States has lost control over. The worst part about this fantasy is that it's not even the first time that he said it. Just desperately doing the same thing over and over again because he doesn't know what else to do. Because the United States under Trump is diplomatically and militarily paralyzed. My opinion, follow for more.
Your gas is about to get way more expensive because Trump wants to add 20% war fee to every oil tanker. This dumbass helped turn one of the world's biggest oil routes into a war zone, and now he wants you to reimburse him for the cost of war. Trump just declared America the guardian of Hormuz Strait. He says every country using it should pay the United States 20% for protection. Holy fuck, we just became a mob. What does that actually mean for you and me? Around 1/5 of the world's oil and gas normally moves through the Hormuz. This new fee could add roughly about $16 to each barrel passing through it. And the oil companies aren't eating that cost. It moves directly through shipping, transportation, and eventually your gas pump and grocery bill. But wait, you're gonna ask, what happened to the great negotiator? Trump started this war bragging about reaching a ceasefire, failed to keep that ceasefire together, and now America strikes Iran, and Iran attacks have started again too. Oil prices already jumped 9% in one day, so the great negotiator started the fire, failed to put it out, and then he's handing you the fucking water bill. And somehow this could get even worse. While Trump is making up this superhero title for himself, the Houthis are threatening to block Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the second major escape route for the Middle East oil. One oil route is already barely moving. Now the other one's going to be next.
So Iran has just said that the Strait of Hormuz is closed again completely until further notice. And this comes after Trump and Israel, for the past couple of days, they said that the ceasefire agreement with Iran is over, and they completely started up this war on Iran again. So now because of this, the economy is still going to get even worse because America is running through their emergency oil supply, and the Strait of Hormuz being shut down is crippling the global and also American economy. So I'm kind of at this point now where, like, you know, if the American economy has to get crippled for the remaining amount of people who still support Trump and Israel to realize, oh, maybe they're just fucking shit up for everyone and they're starting all this, maybe we should stop supporting them. Well, yeah, if that's what it's got to take, so be it. Who fucking cares at this point, man? Let it collapse. Who cares? When things get more expensive and the economy still does not improve and it continues to get worse because of what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz and how much of an impact it has on the American economy, specifically oil prices, which impact literally everything, you can directly blame Trump and Israel for doing all of this.
I was wrong about Trump. I admit it. I was the guy that was watching the rallies. I was the guy that was defending him, standing up for him, agreeing with him, voting for him, encouraging others to vote for him. But because I listened to him so much, I know what exactly he said, what he said he was going to do. And as I watch things unfold right now, he's lied about everything, literally. It's clear. He just told us that he eliminated Iran's military completely, and then now he's exchanging missiles with them. Everything from that to the financial situations, all this extra money he said that he got, that he was going to give American people, it was all a lie. And I don't support him no more on any level, and I regret any video I made supporting him. I regret anything I said to defend him on his behalf. The liberals were right. I'm going to go ahead and put it like that.
Trump claims that he is going to be taking over the Strait of Hormuz, and crude oil is starting to push up again. So here are the critical levels that you need to watch out for oil. Currently, Brent oil is sitting around $78, and we have some critical resistance we need to talk about here. We have the previous month range right here, value area low at 79. We have the previous week high at 80, and we have the previous year, that's right, 2025's yearly high of 81 with a monthly untapped average at 81.24. So expect between 79 to 82 bucks to have major resistance for Brent oil. Now, if Brent oil can push above this area and hold above this previous year high, its next big targets will be $84 to $85, which is the previous month EQ and a 6-month average. But the question becomes, are we getting desensitized to these announcements, these headlines every other week that there's a deal, there's no deal, there's a deal, there's no deal? And people are just expecting for oil to remain high but not back towards back over $100. So Crusader, what's the bearish case for oil? Well, if oil starts to lose this weekly open and previous week EQ around $75.90, then we could start seeing a push back towards the previous week low of $71.
So let's just do a recap of what just happened here. A man who told America he would never drag this country into another foreign conflict just appointed America as the self-declared military guardian of one of the most strategically contested waterways on the planet. No vote, no coalition or debate, just declaration. And the most extraordinary part of this story is not what Democrats said, it's not what the media is saying, it's what his own base is saying. The people who put him in office, the people who chanted America first at every single rally, are now sitting home asking the same question the rest of the world is asking. Who asked us to do this? Who is paying for this? And what exactly does being the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz actually mean for the American people? Because here is the hard truth. Guardianship is not free. It has never been. It will never be. And somewhere between the rally chant and this announcement, America first quietly became America everywhere again. Make sure you drop your thoughts about what you really think about this topic or about what Trump is saying. Like and subscribe because we are just getting started.